Hey, welcome back to another workout. Today we are going to be focused on express glutes. We are using a yoga block, 5-pound dumbbells, and optional ankle weights. Anywhere from half a pound to 2 pounds would be perfect for this flow. When you have your props, join me on your mat. Because this is an express workout, we're going to kind of expedite through our warm up here, but meet me on your hands and knees, palms directly below shoulders, knees below hips. Start to move through your cat-cows, arching through your spine and rounding through your back as you exhale through your mouth. Really press your palms into the mat, feel your shoulders glide apart. Big arch of that back. Lengthen through your spine as you inhale through your nose, maybe gently rocking back and forth if that feels good. Move through this at your own pace, noticing any sticky spots in your body, any sore spots to take note of as you move through your workout today. Good. Give me one more big arch of that spine, deep inhale through the nose. And one final round exhale, spread those fingers apart. Again, try to find as much space and stretch through that upper back as you can. Come into your neutral spine, tuck your toes. We'll press back into a down dog. Immediately drawing both heels down toward the mat, feeling a stretch through the back of the legs. Come up onto your toes, press the heels down, move through this for 3. Trying to get the heels as close to the floor as you can. One more like this. And try to focus on closing the gap between your chest and the front of your thighs. Then we're going to ripple and roll onto our tippy toes and actually step our left foot to the outside of our left hand right away. Deep runner's lunge here. Stretching through the pelvis. Should feel a good stretch as well through the hip flexor on that right leg. Good stuff, guys. Rock back and forth for 3. Find stillness in 2. On 1. Pause here. I want you to drop that back knee. So your right knee is dropped. And you're just going to press back so that you get a bit more stretch through that left hamstring. Try to keep your spine as flat as possible. Your fingertips are on the mat to help you with your balance. And then you'll step up into this like 90-degree bend of your leg. Press the front of your palm into your thigh and grab for the back of that right leg just to stretch through your right quad and hip flexor a little bit more, finding your balance. Good stuff. Let go of that right foot. Hands can find the mat. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand and find that deep runner's lunge on the other side. Just rocking back and forth. Again, trying to relax through your shoulders and really allow the pressure to happen there, deepening the stretch in your pelvis. Good. And then I want you to go ahead and just drop that back knee for me. You'll press back, straightening through your right leg. You're kind of on your heel here. Keeping your fingertips on the mat to find your balance. And just getting that nice stretch through the back of the right leg, trying to keep that spine nice and straight. And then we'll step into this 90-degree bend, pressing for the front of that right thigh as we grab for that left foot. And try to really straighten, almost tucking your pelvis. You'll feel a lot more stretch through that left quad as you do. Perfect. Let go of that leg, hands to the mat, step back into your high plank, hold here for a moment, take an inhale, and then exhale back into your down dog. One last time, pedaling out now through each leg. Good. Just for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Start to tiptoe your foot toward your hands as much as you can. And then round your spine 1 vertebrae at a time all the way up until you're standing tall. Reach your arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers. Press your palms up toward the ceiling. And just take a gentle stretch back into spinal extension. Just what feels good for you. Deep inhale here. And then unclasp the hands. Fingertips fall towards the earth. as ethereal as I can sound. And when you're ready, let's grab our props and get started. So your yoga block's going to come toward the back, sort of middle portion of your mat, and then grab both of your weights for me. And we're going to start by working through our right glute. So what that means is we're going to start with our left toes onto the block and our right foot forward. And your arms are long by your sides. From here, we're just going to find a hinge of our torso forward as we bend deeply through both knees into this like split squat stance. And then as we stand, we'll curl the weights to our shoulders and press up overhead. That is our first layer. So bend your arms in, weights to shoulders, lengthen the arms as you hinge forward, nice straight spine, really applying all of your weight into that right heel. And then we hammer curl, press to stand. Good. We'll do this for 6. Taking it nice and slow so that we can really focus on our form and sinking back and down into that right glute. Give me another 4 like this before we start to add layers. As you sink down and hinge your torso over that right thigh, I don't want you to round through your shoulders, so make sure you continue to have that broad collarbone. Work those posture muscles, even though this is an express glute workout. You'll meet me low in your hinge and lunge in 2. Now, if any point the yoga block doesn't work for you, from a balance perspective, you can ditch it and do this without. Meet me low, pause. I want you to step your left toes back and around into a curtsy lunge. We'll hammer curl the weights to our shoulders. You'll lengthen the arms, step the left toes back to the block, sink an inch deeper into this lunge, and then you stand, hammer curl again, and overhead press. So we lengthen the arms, we sit back into our lunge, hammer curl the weights as you step back into your curtsy lunge, step back to the block, sink an inch deeper, and then you hammer curl and stand. 6 more like this. We are moving nice and slow, getting the most out of each movement. Use your breath. Find your focus. 5. Keeping the weight through that right heel as you pivot around off the block and back onto the block. And really using that reconnection of the left foot to the block to get that much deeper in your split squat. Good. We're adding another layer in 3. You'll meet me right after that curtsy lunge. In 2. All right, let's move together on this next one. So lengthen the arms. You're in this like forward 90-90 lunge. Hammer curl, curtsy lunge, pause. Hinge forward, straightening through that left leg. The arms go straight. Give me 1 row. Really sweep those shoulders together as you bring your elbows above your rib cage, back to your curtsy with your hammer curl. Then you lengthen the arms, foot finds the block, stand, hammer curl, press up overhead. I know we're moving slow. We can pick up the pace a little bit. So We're in our 90-90 kind of split squat. Hammer curl, curtsy. Hinge forward, straighten just through that left leg. Row, pull the elbows up past the rib cage, lengthen those arms. Hammer curl again in your curtsy. Then you lengthen the arms. You stay deep in that right knee. Stand. And that is our last layer, hammer curl overhead press. We'll just do 8 of the full flow. Lengthen the arms. Let's move slow together. Get the most out of each movement. Squeeze those shoulders together as you glide your elbows past your rib cage. Sit back into that lunge. Glutes should be hopefully feeling this, or at least starting to warm up. 7. Good. Use that breath. Keep drawing your abs in and up. We move slow so we can find that block each time. If we're using it, it kind of forces us to slow down, finding our balance. Good. And even though we're using lighter weights, still really putting that mind-muscle connection together so that you can get a little extra work in that upper body. Spine should be nice and straight here. Good. Hammer curl. Stay deep in that right bend, pressing through the right heel. Good. 4. We're just going to work the curtsy. In 3. You should be able to wiggle your right toes at any point to make sure you're really allocating weight through the heel, which is what's going to keep this in the glute. Check in with your abs. Make sure your rib cage is not flaring. 2. Loving the feeling of that row. Good. 1 more full flow. Down. Hammer curl and curtsy. Hinge forward. Row it up. Extend the arms. Find your deepest curtsy again. Step to the block. Stand. Curl. Press. Inhale. All right, let's go down. Let's just find that curtsy. And we hinge and row just for 8. We'll reset and rest for a moment in 7. Try to tap that left knee down if you can. Give me 5. Make sure that knee is tracking out in line with your pinky toe for 4. Breathe. Stomach is pulled in. 2. Good. Last one. Row. Hammer curl and stand. Give that glute a tap. Shake it out. Good. Get a sip of water, actually, if you need it. I will, just from talking. And let's move on to our other side. The great thing about this isolated single leg work, you might want to scoot your block over depending where it is you get a completely fresh glute and we can just keep moving, right? So right toes are back on the block, left toes are forward, kind of in this split stance. And then arms are long. Go ahead and find that deep kind of 90-90 with your hinge forward of your long spine. Press through your left heel now. Curl the weights to your shoulders. Press up overhead. Bend the elbows. Lengthen the arms. sit back now, deep into that left glute. Good stuff, guys. Moving through here for another 6. Trying to keep those right toes light on the block and really allow your left glute to start to kick in for you. Using that breath, taking those deep, long inhales, oxygenate your body, your muscles as you do this work. Let's add our curtsy in one more. Good. On this next one, lengthen the arms, sink nice and deep, send the right toes back and out with control. Actually, send them back and out. Find your hammer curl. Almost forgot. Find the block, stand, another hammer curl, press up. Weights to shoulders, lengthen the arms, sit back into your left glute, step it around, curtsy, hammer curl, lengthen the arms, step to the block, press through the left heel, and stand. You might need to move your feet around just to find the right positioning. That is obviously fine. And you might notice that it seems maybe a little more challenging on one side. I know we're always kind of droning on about that. Your balance is different on one side than the other, but oftentimes it is. Mine feels much more challenging on this side. You'll have to comment and let me know what you think. Again, make sure your spine is nice and long. Imagine there's like a ruler or a foam roller on your back. So you have that nice straight spine, tailbone through the crown of your head, and you're sitting back as deeply as you can into that left glute. Let's do 6 more. And then we'll add that curtsy hinge into the mix with the row. Good. Sink deep. Try to get that knee down toward the mat as much as you can. And you're staying nice and deep and bent in that left leg as you pivot around from the mat back to the block, sinking an inch deeper, and then you press through the left heel, straightening through that right back leg as you stand. Good. Focus and breathe. One more like this. Deep. Try to tap that right knee down to the mat. I know mine's not going to make it. All right, on this next one, lengthen the arms. Sink deep into that 90-90. Curtsy and hammer curl. Pause. Lengthen the arms. Lengthen the back right leg. Stay bent through the right knee as you row the elbows up past your rib cage. Back to your curtsy as you hammer curl. Lengthen the arms. Step to your block. Sink deeper. Press up and overhead. 7 more. Sinking deep. Hammer curl curtsy. Hinge. Lengthen the arms. Row. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lengthen the arms. Hammer curl curtsy. Step to the block. Sink deep. Hammer curl. Overhead press. Good. 6 more. It's really not that many steps. Just sounds really verbose. We've got it. Keep checking in about where you're allocating weight in that left foot. You should, again, be able to wiggle those left toes at any point so that you know you're pressing through that left heel. Good. We'll just stay in that curtsy and work our row and hammer curl with our hinge and curtsy lunge. In another 3. I think that sounds right. I'm sure you're like, yes, yes, that is right. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sore, but I'm feeling this, you guys. You'll have to let me know what you think and what weights you are using for this. Good. Stand. One more full round. Deep. Hammer curtsy. Hinge. Row. Lengthen the arms. Hammer curtsy. Back to the block. Sink deep. Stand. And press. Inhale. All right, let's go to our curtsy. We will just hammer curl, hinge, continuing to bend through that left knee as we straighten the right leg, and then bend through the right knee as you hammer curl and find that lunge. Good. 7. Make sure that left knee is tracking out towards your left pinky toe and not buckling in. You should feel this all over, but outside and base of that left glute. Good. Just another 4. Row it up. Keep drawing your abs in. 3. Tap that knee down toward the mat. 2. And 1. Last curtsy. Ooh, step it up. All right. Good stuff. We are coming down to finish. We are going to do a bridge series. So get a sip of water. You do not need your weights. You do need your yoga block. So let's go back to that right glute. She's had some time to rest. We'll give our poor left glute a bit of a break. The block is going to come under your right heel. It's okay if the toes are gliding off the front, and then you just lie all the way down. I want you to immediately pop up onto your left toes, and then arms will just stay along by the sides. We're going to start immediately through a pelvic press. So you'll hinge your hips straight up, squeezing your glutes at the top, pausing here to make sure your ribs are down and closed, abs on, long line from your sternum through your pubic bone, through those knees, hips are level, and then you just hinge straight down, lightly tap the tailbone to the mat. Good. Start here for 8. And then we'll get into our single leg. Trying to focus, though, on allocating about an 80-20, if not a 90-10, through that right heel already. That left glute deserves a little rest. Good. 5. Holding it lifted for me. We'll march that left leg to table. In another 3. In 2. Feels nice to be back down on the mat where we're safe. On 1, lift up and hold for me. March your left leg to tabletop. Tap the toes lightly to the mat. Drop the hips for 8. Good. We'll go nice and simple with these single leg bridge movements. Nothing that you guys have not done before. I say that now, but I guess it depends if you've done videos with me before. Good. Give me 3. Using that breath. Don't let either hip drop as you're marching that leg. Meet me lifted on this next one. March the left leg to tabletop. Hold. Can you thread your left leg under your right? Your hips will open up slightly out to the left. Bring it back to tabletop. Tap the toes. Lower the hips. So we lift. Tabletop of that left leg. Thread it under. The hips will open up slightly to the left. Bring it back to table. Tap the toes. Let's go for another 6 like this. March. Thread. back to table, tap it down. Making sure those abs and obliques are working for you and that the hips level off, square with the ceiling after that thread before you tap the foot down and obviously before you lower those hips. Good. You're going to meet me lifted in another 2. You should start to feel that right glute heating up again. Tap those hips down. Take a deep inhale for me. Lift. Lift the leg to table. Just work that thread for 8. Left leg stays in table in 7. Palms should be flat to the mat. Shoulders anchored. Make sure they're not creeping up and becoming earrings. Give me 4. Making sure you press into that right heel, especially after that thread as you bring the left leg back to tabletop. Hips stay high on 1. Left leg stays in table. I just want you to lower your hips, lift up single leg bridge, and lower. It doesn't have to be high. Give me 7. Only a couple more things on this side. 6. Focus. Use that strong exhale. Pelvis is nice and level. You can always place your hands on your hip points just to check in. I'm constantly doing that. Obviously, if you want more, bringing your arms up in line with your shoulders is more challenging. But if you're doing that, make sure you're not rounding those shoulders. Gaze is up toward the ceiling. Meet me lifted on this next one. Tap down, lift, hold. Tap the leg to the floor, so the left leg toes tap. Then you bring it back to table. You give me 1 thread the needle. You bring it up to table. You tap the hips. You've got it, guys. 7 of these. Lift. Tap the left toes lightly to the mat. Bring the leg to table. Thread it under. Back to table. Tap your hips down. Inhale. 6. You're not really allocating any weight through those left toes as you tap them down. You want to keep that left glute as inactive as possible because it's next, right? So don't cheat yourself. We've got it for 4. We're just going to finish with those threads one last time. 3, you only have to open up and thread as much as feels comfortable and available in your body. So if it's tiny, it's tiny. If it feels good to thread it under and really open out to the side and get that stretch, do it. Last one like this. Tap, lift, thread, table. All right, last time. Inhale, exhale, lift. Just work those threads again for 8. 7, you lower to fully reset. In 6. 5, you've got it. Press through that right heel. Good. Give me 2. Give me 1 more. And lower. Oh my gosh, I didn't think I was going to make it. All right, straighten through that right leg. Give it a good stretch. Maybe lengthen through your left leg and just kind of roll that knee around, hip circles on that right side. And then shift your block over under that left foot. Get a sip of water. And meet me here to finish. All right. So left heel, it's okay if the toes are gliding off. Just make sure that your heels are somewhere close to your fingertips. Palms on the mat. Shoulders out of the ears. Lift up onto those right toes. Let's get this done. Express workout. Can't keep delaying. We're lifting just a simple pelvic hinge up and down. Oh, my right glute and hamstring is so active. So try to get light on those right toes for another 5. Adding in that march when our hips are lifted in 3. Making sure that you're engaging your abs, that your rib cage is not flaring open. We are lifting from the hips and the glutes, not the ribs. So ribs are down and heavy toward the mat. Back ribs are connected. I try to always check in with my jaw, especially in glute work. I feel like it tends to tense up. On this next one, hold lifted for me. March your right leg to tabletop. Gently place the toes to the mat. Lower the hips. Lift and squeeze. March. Tap. Lower. Good. We'll just go for another 6 like this. 4. Adding that thread of the right leg under the left in 3. Checking in again with your hips. Making sure your gaze is up toward the ceiling. On this next one, lift, squeeze, hold. March the right leg to table. Thread the right leg under the left. The hips will open up to that right side. You bring it back to table. You tap it down. And then you lower the hips. 8. Good. You'll meet me lifted in 7 just to work those threads. And then we'll move into that single leg bridge. You've got it, guys. Thread, open. That always feels really nice to me. You'll have to let me know if you guys like this. I haven't done this sequence in a while. I forgot how much I like it. I mean, it's hard, but I like the feeling. The rotation feels nice. Something a little different. 2. Thread. Table. Tap those toes. Lower those hips. Give me a big inhale here. Exhale. Lift and hold. Right leg to table. Just work your threads for 8. Leaving that right leg at table. In another 5. Oh, man, my left glute is dying already. This is not good. Good. It's definitely my weaker side. Give me 2. You pause if you need to. You want to make sure you're doing this with good form. On 1, leave the leg in table. Lower the hips. Exhale, lift. Tap the right toes down. Lift them up. Lower the hips. Nice and simple. Lift the hips. Tap the right leg. Back to table. And lower. Let's go for 5. We'll add that thread back in. And then just work those threads to finish. Sometimes I think when it's getting really hard, I start to question like the layers. But I think that's what we did. I guess we'll find out. Give me 2. Lift, press, tap, barely transferring any weight. No weight really. 3. Or not 3, that was 1. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Tap the leg, lift the leg, thread the leg, back to table. Leave it there as you tap your hips down. This is where we finish, you guys, and then we just have those threads. Let's do 7 more. Tap the toes, table, thread, back to table, lower the hips. Good. Tap, lift, thread, table, and lower the hips. 5. This is where you start to do all of your form scans, making sure as you're pivoting around, lowering the leg, threading the leg, that the hips are constantly squaring off again with the ceiling and in line with each other through those motions. So take it slow, do less reps if you need to. I know we're all kind of like stuck technically working with whatever pace I'm going at, but I'd rather you do less reps with the right form, feeling it in the right places based on the body you woke up with today. Give me 3. I swear I'm not just like delaying the inevitable. Big inhale down, exhale lift, tap, thread it under, lower the hips. Trying to take that deep inhalation through my nose as I'm moving through these exercises, and every time I tap down to oxygenate my muscles. Last one, you guys. Lift, tap, back to table, thread it, lift it, lower those hips. Inhale, here we go. Let's finish this. Press it up. Let's thread it for 8, 7, taking your time, making sure you bring that leg all the way back to table and leveling off those hips. 4, oh my God, my left glute is screaming. 2, 1, lower, lengthen that right leg, hug that left knee in, maybe make some circles with that leg, maybe reach it up to the ceiling. And then when you're ready, you can just scoot that yoga block out of the way with your leg. Let's reach both our legs long. Let's reach our arms long overhead. And take a big cleansing inhale through your nose. And big exhale through your mouth. Try to release all the air out. One more. Big inhale. Big exhale through the mouth. Now let's just start with that left leg. You can bend it in, take that ankle weight off if you had it on, and just bring that left ankle over your right knee. We're going to do a figure 4. So pull that right thigh in toward you. Maybe you're pressing the inside of your left knee with your left elbow. My hands are just gently right, kind of like under that knee on the right side. And I'm flexing at my left ankle so that my toes point up to the ceiling. And I'm trying to, in opposition, press my tailbone down toward the mat so that I'm getting more of a stretch like through my glute. Otherwise, if you start to curl, you're just not really getting the stretch. So it's not about how close in the legs come. It's about feeling it in that left glute and hamstring and the side of the glute. And I am feeling it. I don't know about you. Good. Take a deep inhale here. And then gently keep that left leg crossed over. You can bring your right foot down to the mat. Let's bring our arms out nice and wide. And then with control, you're going to tilt over to the right with your low body. Your left foot will find the mat. You can look in opposition to the left. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, tilt your lower body back, uncross your legs. Let's bring our right leg over our left, reaching for the back of that left thigh. And I'm pressing my right elbow into the inside of my right knee. I'm flexing up with my right ankle and the left really, but the focus is on that right side. And then I'm trying to press my tailbone down toward the mat as I pull in opposition my legs toward my body, but keeping my spine as straight and long as possible. Taking deep inhales. Obviously, I feel like I could do this for days. I don't know about you, so feel free to take longer through these stretches. And you'll have to let me know how you liked this express workout, more standing work. I know you guys were asking for that, so I've been trying to deliver. I love taking standing work. I don't know. I just love being down on the mat when I teach. I don't know. I feel safe down here. All right, let's bring that left foot. Let's bring our arms nice and wide, and then we'll just shift our lower body. Make sure your yoga block's out of the way. Over to the left side. I'll look to the right so my left foot has found the floor. And just taking some inhales here in this rotation. And then when you're ready, bring that leg up. Grab through your knees, rock yourself up to seated, and you are all finished with this express lower body workout. I look forward to seeing you on the next one.